Eric Darling here with Darling Data, and in this admittedly short video, which you got to mix it up sometimes. They can't all be my usual 15 to 20 minute bangers, like extended November rain cuts of SQL Server stuff. This is just a short video about, of course, index sort direction. When you create indexes, you can tell SQL Server which direction you would like the data sorted in, whether it's ascending or descending. There's no third option there. It's just one of the two. This is for row store indexes, of course. Column store indexes, at least as of this writing, do not accept that sort of argument. So a few things up front, some housekeeping, as they say in the more professional podcasting world. If you would like to support my channel, I have memberships. They're cheap. It's a few bucks a month. It's a nice way to say thank you for me spending, I don't know, 15 to 20 minutes a day, talking about SQL Server for everyone. If you can't afford a membership, that's totally okay. You can support my channel in other ways, like liking my videos or commenting on my videos or subscribing to my channel, because those are all numbers when they go up. I feel a peace and gratitude in my heart that I don't normally feel. It's usually just a lot of stress that I feel in my heart. If you need help with SQL Server, I am a consultant, and I'm available to do all sorts of things to help make your SQL servers go faster, or make sure that they're not going to just die immediately. So if you need to hire someone to work with your SQL Server stuff, these are the types of things I'm generally available for. Of course, you can pay me to do just about anything. I have absolutely no morals. If you want training on SQL Server, I have very, very affordable stuff. 24 hours of content. If you go, there's a link down in the show notes, of course, and that link goes directly to a 75% off discount code that will get you all 24 hours for about 150 bucks. So you should do that, because that's another way to say thank you. Upcoming events that I have. Now, I used to complain that this slide had a lot of white space on it, so I spent some quality time with ChatGPT. And with ChatGPT, I asked it to make a neon sign that said live entertainment. And instead I got one that says live living entertainment. ChatGPT, kind of an idiot. Not really excited about this level of, factuality coming to Copilot in every single Microsoft product, including probably SQL Server Management Studio. I can't wait to have idiot stuff like this show up there and ruin everything. So let's get on with the show. Let's talk about index sort direction. We'll get out of here. We'll go into SQL Server Management Studio. And the first thing that we're going to do, or the first thing that I have done already, because again, I respect your time, and I don't need you to sit there and watch me run a query for forever and ever, is I've run this query with absolutely no indexes in place. And if we look at the query plan for it, we will see that we spent sort of a monstrous amount of time in this end of the branch generating our row number and sorting data and doing all sorts of things that we probably don't want to do. Now, of course, this is a row mode query plan for a windowing function. Not usually the most efficient thing. If we're going to do this sort of thing, we are most likely going to want to use batch mode as much as possible. The window aggregate does all sorts of fun and fancy things that make these sorts of queries much, much faster. If you're stuck in the past, if you're stuck row moding your way to queries finishing, then you have options for creating indexes that will help queries go faster that need to do this sort of thing. So let's look at this, and let's create this index. And now, if we pay close attention, I'm actually going to have to, well, you know what, screw it, I'll just drop the index. I forgot to add the drop existing stuff that I usually add to these index definitions. That's okay, though. We'll manage for this video. This is a quick one anyway. So what I've done is I've created an index on the 3 columns that we have involved in our windowing function. For simplicity, these are also just really the only columns that we have in the select list too. In the real world, you might have to add some includes to your index so SQL Server actually chooses it to do this sort of thing. If you're wondering why the ID column is up here but not in our index definition, that is because it is the clustered primary key of the post table, so it will implicitly be in our non-clustered indexes anyway. That's just the way SQL Server works. If you don't like it, ask for a refund. The thing is, and I'm just going to get the estimated plan for this query because we don't need to sit there and watch it do all sorts of stuff, is when we run this, and now SQL Server says, hey, an index on the users table, I'd love one. Guess what that's going to do? Nothing. Right? Thanks, missing index requests. You real helpful there. But we still have a sort here. Right? We are still sorting data because the definition of our index does not precisely match the definition of our windowing function. We are ordering by everything ascending except that pesky score column, which is descending. And if you were looking at the index definitions below, you may have noted that I have that fixed in the second one. So this is something that SQL Server is particularly picky about, right? Because that index definition does not exactly match what we have in the windowing function. SQL Server is like, well, I don't know what to do with that. I couldn't possibly sort that backwards for you. So now, a lot of the time when people complain about like index sort choices and when they're creating them, like ascending, descending, is because SQL Server still to this day cannot scan an index backwards. I don't know, in parallel. It can do it with a single threaded, but not in a parallel plan, which is really annoying because it seems like a very simple thing to do. You just do the thing that you were doing the other way, right? Just flip it around. But I don't know. Instead, we get clown nose features like cardinality estimation feedback and DOP feedback and whatever other dumb crap some PM decided to stay up all night working on a Word document for, and no one sanity checked it. No one was like, "Are you sure? Are you sure this is what people want? Are you sure this is what SQL Server needs? Isn't there a huge backlog of just like obvious stuff that SQL Server should have that it doesn't have yet? Maybe we should improve T-SQL a little bit. Maybe we should look around at what other people are doing with SQL as a language and maybe implement some of these very nice things that other people have implemented that make developing in that would make developing in SQL Server so much easier." No, we get all the other stuff. We get all the other stuff. So anyway, getting back to reality here, we have created an index with a definition that does match the sort order of our windowing function. And now you'll notice that we no longer spend, that first execution was about 11 seconds, right? But now we're down to about 2.5 seconds. And this is with a single threaded plan too. So one thing that you might notice with when you start improving windowing function query plans is you start losing parallelness. SQL Server will stop sort of creating parallel plans when it doesn't have to do a lot of work anymore. So be a little bit careful with that. Sometimes you might need to play some tricks on SQL Server to make it maintain a parallel plan after you've created indexes. So this no longer has a sort in it. Right? We no longer have to sort data to match our windowing function because now we have an index in place that precisely matches the sort direction of our windowing function, and we have saved the day. We have saved 9 seconds of our day, about, right? Just close enough to 9 seconds. I had to pick number 9 to be the closest one, right? Floor and ceiling that thing. Make it easy on yourself. How much faster did you make it? 9 seconds faster, which, for an 11-second query is pretty good, right? Going from 11 to 2 is pretty good. If we went from 59 seconds to 50 seconds, we could say, we made a minor improvement, but we're still in our process. We're still processing things. It's a very, very common thing for the masses who have decided that everyone should be in therapy. We're processing this. We have to process this a little bit more. To process things. It's a nice time processing some things. So anyway, be very careful when you're tuning queries that involve windowing functions. Oftentimes, generating the results of that windowing function can be the hardest thing you're doing in that query, and oftentimes having a good index in place can make that a lot easier. There are other tricks, of course. Batch mode is a very good one. If you're not allowed to create, a million different indexes, getting batch mode involved is pretty sweet. Let me show you that. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to say SQL Server, use hint. Yes, I'm typing in a demo. And yes, I'm annoyed that SQL prompt still does not have compat level 160 available in there. That's the highest one. It's been like 3 years or something. Something ridiculous. Still don't have 160 in there. It only goes up to 150 as far as what it will suggest. But if we control an L on this, we'll see a wonderful little change in the query plan where we still have to sort data, but now we've got a window aggregate, which means that we are rolling with batch mode, baby. We got the batch here, right? We got the batch here. Boom. Batch sort. And we got the window aggregate here. Now, what's cool about window aggregates in batch mode plans is that when you have to sort data, so this is a batch mode sort. If we roll in on this, we will see these two things here. Now, normally, a batch mode sort will sort all your data across DOP threads, but every other operator currently in SQL Server's world of query plan operators can only read from a batch mode sort single-threaded, one thread. So reading from that is single-threaded, but it'll still do the sort across DOP threads. The window aggregate is specially designed to be able to read from a batch mode sort using DOP threads. So that's another thing that greatly improves performance here. And now we have gone from shaving about 9 seconds off this thing to shaving about 10 seconds off this thing. So your options are between creating or altering an index to match the definition of the windowing function and using batch mode. Oftentimes, just getting batch mode involved is a lot better. Unless you're on standard edition, because Microsoft hates you because you haven't paid them to like you. You have to pay Microsoft to like you enough to get DOP above 2 on batch mode operations and standard edition by going to enterprise edition. You have to pay $5,000 more a core to get those improvements or to get that normal functionality. Again, you have to pay Microsoft to like you enough to get these features. So anyway, that's about good for me here. This video did end up being a little longer than I anticipated. I guess I got a little carried away, which can happen sometimes. But that just means I'm having fun and enjoying myself, even if I'm going like this while I'm talking about Microsoft. Anyway, thank you for watching. Remember all the stuff at the beginning. Like, subscribe, hire me, buy my training. Thank you. I love you. Goodbye.